Hey everyone, I'm very excited to share that we've hit 1,000 subscribers. I've only been doing this since I was about 15, which is only 15 years ago, but we eventually hit it. So yeah, thank you so much for everyone that's subscribed over the years. Slow and steady wins the race. So I started my journey on YouTube 15 years ago as just a creator, to be honest. Over time, I've become a DJ and producer. My journey has definitely been a bit of a ride. So I grew up on the Isle of Wight and it didn't feel like there was a lot of creative opportunities there. But when I moved to London, I really started realizing how much I loved music. And since then, I've obviously faced some challenges, but there's been some amazing milestones along the way. And I can't wait to share even more content with you. So to celebrate this milestone, I've asked you some questions on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm going to answer them for you. First up, what got you into DJing? As I said, I was raised on the Isle of Wight, and if you don't know where that is, it's just below Portsmouth. It's a little island and you need to get a hovercraft or a boat to leave. And the last boat is at like 11 p.m. So that's the kind of vibe it is. There's no Nando's, there's no Primark, there's just nothing, to be quite honest. And with that, there was also no university. I went to Brighton University. As soon as I could leave the Isle of Wight, I did. I'm sorry, a lot of people love it. I do love it here and there. So after I graduated in 2016, that's when I started a job in sales, realised I hated that, then moved into an office management job and then project management. But corporate life was just not for me.
It ain't me. Ain't me.
So this year, I've been diagnosed with ADHD. What a shocker. But that made me realise, no wonder I didn't like corporate world. Like, how am I going to fit in that when I'm just, my mind's all over the place? So in 2017, I would say I began going to a lot of gigs and just watching artists, singers perform, DJs, and it just sort of opened my eyes that there was a whole different world outside of corporate that I'd never really been able to explore at all. So, you know, other than doing a YouTube channel, which was, let's be honest, failing. By 2018, I guess I just bit the bullet and stupidly, don't do this, got decks on my credit card. I'm definitely getting like closer and closer to the camera. Let me just back the fuck up a little bit. How long have you been producing and have you worked with anyone big? I've actually been in and out of producing since lockdown. My boyfriend at the time was a producer and I basically just learned the basics of Logic from him. To be honest, I was inspired by him. Kudos to him, shout out to him. I watched loads of YouTube videos. Obviously everyone always says just watch YouTube videos, but it's true, it's a free education on there. So I still have to go on there constantly to learn stuff because right now I'm a beginner. But I really liked watching people like Disclosure because they do like full breakdowns of their tracks, and Disclosure are one of my favorite artists anyway. I'm still learning and I haven't worked with any like artists or even producers I would like to collaborate with. So if that's you, message me. I really want to collab with other producers and just bounce ideas off of each other. What advice would you give to someone considering becoming a DJ or producer? Obviously there are loads of really good tips and like practical tips, but I'm not going to give that one right now. Right now I'm going to tell you, enjoy the journey. And why I say this is because it's very tempting to see what everyone's doing and want to just get straight on that. And I think if you rush the process, you're going to miss a lot of important elements. But they seem boring and tedious, but they will set you up for success if you go through them. So for that I mean like the little mistakes that will happen early on. So for instance, I once played for an artist and I was really excited by this because I really wanted to do it. Like I wanted to be playing alongside an artist. I just thought that was amazing. And we did a whole sound check. I brought my controller with me and my laptop, and the sound check went fine. Then we went upstairs and I guess because I disconnected my laptop, something happened. So then it got to the actual performance. She was like, DJ, run the track. And I was like, complete silence. So
that fucking threw me off, bitch.
I literally just stood there for about 15 minutes and they were waiting for me with, I mean, the crowd was probably about 60, 70 people, I don't know. And wow, I just wanted to fall into the stage and just choke and die. She ended up having to get her laptop out and getting the music on herself. But why I say this story is, if I was ever gonna do something like that again, I would know not what to do. No, wait, I would know what to do and what not to do. Next up, how did I build confidence to put myself out there? I love this question. First and foremost, surrounding myself with ambitious, positive, and encouraging people was the most vital part, definitely at the start. Because I had people say, when I told them, oh, I'm going to buy DJ decks, they were like, why? You? And then other people, they were like, yes, go for it. That would be so cool. Oh my God, I want to be friends with the DJ, blah, blah, blah. And I just was like, okay, who am I going to listen to right now? The no's or the yeses? And obviously I listened to the yeses. It's important to have people around you that encourage you to take those risks. I also made it a priority to tap into what excites me. I've been thinking about this even recently. Sometimes I'll be thinking so much about the end goal and you just lose the spark, the excitement, the joy, and it's just not what it's about. But I have to constantly remind myself of that. And I think that's probably what a lot of creatives find themselves doing. When something makes you feel really good, lean into it. This is what life's about. Also, practice will give you confidence. Saying that, there's some really not good DJs that are so confident. So clack the tea. Realistically, if you practice a lot, your confidence will build. So for me, that meant getting lessons with London Sound Academy. Also, sharing your journey on social media. This allowed me to actually track the progress myself. As a DJ, as an artist, you are going to be perceived and you need to get used to that. So with that, I think building mental resilience is key. There will always be opinions on everything, and they'll be positive, negative, neutral. But I always try and remind myself of a quote that I heard once that said something like, do not let the compliments go to your head and don't let the criticism go to your heart. Even with criticism, I think it's good to reach out to people for constructive criticism who you respect and admire. When you're posting stuff online, you're bound to get criticism, and art is so subjective that you have to be careful what criticism you take, because you could end up deleting stuff. Like I've deleted so much stuff on my TikTok where one person said a negative comment and I've been like, yeah, if you are that easy to be manipulated into thinking something that you actually liked at the time is not good or not good enough, then that means you need to work on your mental resilience. So yeah, that's something I'm still working on, and it's very important because you just have to give no fucks, because it's literally art. So who's going to tell you that it's shit? But not taking compliments too seriously also is really important, because you cannot let a compliment make you, because then an insult can break you. Mike. One of my best friends said to me recently something about confidence not being something you just have. It's not built into people. Confidence is actually just being brave over and over. And I like that. Shout out Megan Nicker. Okay, I always see this question. This is such a commonly asked topic on DJing. Do you think creating social content is essential for success as a DJ? Now, I'm gonna just say what I instantly think, and that is yes. Right now, it is essential. However, I do have some cases of friends that I know who have been DJs and they've taken a year off social media, and then they've just popped up again and they've succeeded. They're doing amazingly, to be quite honest, because I guess talent doesn't lie and passion doesn't lie. You can always restart again. To be honest, coming back after deleting your stuff for a long time could actually be quite refreshing, and you're basically reinventing yourself, coming back as a new person. And a lot of people like to find emerging artists, emerging DJs, the same way we want to find new music. A lot of people want to find new talent, new DJs, new artists. So it can actually be a positive. But on the other side, I would also say for brands, they will look at your social media and they'll see who you've worked with in the past, and potentially that could help you get more gigs and get higher paid gigs. Personally, I think my social content has definitely helped me get gigs, and the idea of going off for a year, that scares me. It's the fear that you would come back and just no one would care, but keyword there is fear. Another good question. The industry has been predominantly male. What challenges have you faced? I was thinking about this and I thought I get offered a lot of gigs and mostly they are men that offer me them. But that could also just be because men are getting more gigs. Like, men have agencies. Anytime I think of a DJ agency, other than one or two actually, they're all male run. So obviously they're going to be giving out gigs. I think it makes sense if men have been, you know, populating the DJ scene for a while, then it's going to take the girls longer to catch up. I would say men definitely have a harder time like finding their own unique brand or a look. Sometimes people say, oh, like, oh, it's not important. A look is not important for a DJ, but for an artist it is. You have to stand out, and I think women pioneer that. I think maybe it's to do with men feeling like they can't express themselves as much. Being expressive and being unique often is looked down on. I would say with producing, I think we need to be putting each other on more. There just seems to be way more male producers, and I want to see female producers in the room with them, learning from them. It makes no sense for there to be so many DJs that are male and female, but not many producers that are male and female. What are your thoughts on the growing number of DJs today? It definitely can feel like everyone knows a DJ, but I think what sets people apart is determination, resilience, consistency, and sacrifice. I think when you're in the industry, it's easy to lose sight of how unique a DJ's craft actually is. Before you were a DJ, you probably looked at one DJ and thought, wow, that's so cool, I don't often see that. But then once you become a DJ, you're like, oh, everyone's a DJ, I can't look anywhere without seeing a DJ. You end up getting like the crabs in the bucket vibe, where everyone feels they just look around and there's too many of them. But if you look outside of the bucket, they're not out there, they're in the bucket. So the bucket is their mindset. Do you get what I mean? Like inspirational quotes and that. Everyone gets comparison-y sometimes. Someone said this metaphor of like when you go to the shop and you look for some bread, there's not just one brand of bread. There's Hovis, there's Warburtons, there's all these other breads, and they all do very similar things. Like it's literally a loaf of white bread, but there's still room for them. The market still fits them all in. The shelf still fits every single brand on there, and they'll usually all sell out as well. They might have different prices, different ingredients, but ultimately they are the same thing. So think of yourself as a brand that is on that shelf and will sell, because there's a need for all of us. And you might just be looking in the wrong places for gigs. You might be thinking, oh my god, I want that gig at Box Park. But Box Park's not the only place. Shout out Box Park, that's one of my residencies. But it's not the only place. Like, why don't you go and be the first DJ at flipping Greg's? Because maybe Greg's one day will need an in-store DJ. You never know. Do you think the role of a professional DJ might decline at some point? Now, this question made me think, let me just see.
It's only my third day out here. I don't know.
Am I ChatGPT, or is ChatGPT gonna be me one day? Maybe ChatGPT is gonna literally DJ. Who knows? But yeah, I think this is definitely debatable. I don't know really like how much I know about this, but I tend to try and be a glass half full kind of gal. So when I think of the opportunities that are existing and extended to DJs, I actually always think of when I went to see Beyonce and Jay-Z in a stadium in London, and Tiffany Calver opened for them as their opening act, and I was like, whoa, like I thought it was going to be a singer.
Whoa. Nah, I never knew that.
I didn't realise that DJs would open up for such big artists, and that made me sort of set my inspiration and aspirations higher just from seeing her do that. When I watched Rihanna's Savage Fenty show, she had a whole like DJ mixed the soundtrack to the whole show, and it was like songs that I had in my SoundCloud playlist. So it felt sort of like, whoa, I could literally do that one day. They're just some examples of how a DJ's work can extend from not just in the club, but to different industries. I guess if we're talking about like AI, I don't think AI could ever build that real connection with crowds. The only thing they'll be better at is just rejecting song requests. What do you think is the most important for success as a DJ? Securing lots of gigs or having solid contracts? I don't know if they meant contacts or contracts. Basically, to me, the question is quantity or quality. I actually don't send contracts with all of my gigs. If it's a big gig, then I will. And if it's sort of like a residency, maybe there's a contract at the beginning. A lot of them I'll just send an invoice, I'll get a deposit, and yeah. I'm guessing you mean contracts. I don't know. Basically, early on, make sure you have a contract, an invoice with your payment terms and your late payment terms on there as well, so that if they pay you late, they'll pay you more. Is it easier to succeed as a multi-genre DJ or by focusing on a specific genre? I've actually started as an open format DJ, but I'm currently trying to refine my sound because this question is just constantly something I'm thinking about. Thinking about it is what takes the spark away, and actually just doing and playing what you love is the main part. I do think multi-genres get more gigs starting out, and sort of locally in your area you will get more gigs if you can play anything. But once you want to go international, once you want to be going overseas, I think unless you have a really strong personality, like an online personality, you're less likely to get booked overseas as an open format DJ. If you have a niche, you're gonna be more in demand for certain sounds. For instance, if you play house, you are probably more likely to get booked a gig in Ibiza than open format DJ, because Ibiza is more house than open format. In the technical sense, I think it helps to be able to play everything, but in the artist sense, it's definitely good to have a bit of a niche. Debate with me in the comments. Which free artists or events would you love to DJ for? Okay, I like this question. I personally would love to one day open up, DJ alongside, or be on the same lineup as Girls Don't Sink. I just think they are incredible DJs. I love everything they stand for. Individually, they're all amazing. Their track selections are high energy. The girls' crowds are amazing. So yeah, big shout out to them. In like an energy sense, I would love to play for a dancehall artist one day. Obviously, also events like Glastonbury and Coachella. Fashion shows as well. Something like Savage Fenty's show, that would be awesome. Okay, so this is the last question. What is the best starter kit for beginners? So my first kit was DDJ RB, and that's just a laptop controller that used Recordbox. It was good for practice, but I really think DJs need to be practicing on USBs as well, just to have that versatility. Now I upgraded and I recommend the XDJ RR. It's a USB controller, and you can also use Recordbox on your laptop as well. Yeah, it just gives you that more of a reflection of what CDJs I like to play on. That concludes my questions for today. If you have any more, please comment them and I will get back with a part 2. Thank you again for helping me reach 1,000 subscribers. If you found this Q&A helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, come follow me on my Instagram and on TikTok, and let me know what other topics you want me to cover.